Cricket is perceived as an honourable game, played in the right spirit with rules and traditions established over centuries. But in reality, its teams are always searching for advantages, sometimes legally, sometimes not. So, how do cricket players cheat? Cricket is a complex game, but with a simple premise. A bowler bowls a ball at a batter. The batter tries to protect a set of stumps and score runs without getting out. And while many factors impact the outcome of a cricket match, the ball itself is always extremely important. How it bounces and spins, how quickly it travels. Many of these variables are determined by the bowler's style and skill, but anything that alters a batsman's ability to strike the ball has an impact. And that includes the condition of the ball itself, which is made of cork, leather, and a protruding seam, and remains in play for a set period of time. In Test match cricket, the longest form of the game, that would be a minimum of 480 deliveries, during which time the ball is scuffed, hit, and roughed up, causing the leather casing to soften and the behaviour of the ball to change. And so naturally, the bowling or fielding side seek to expedite those changes. They are allowed to manage the condition of the ball, but not manipulate it. And whilst that might seem a pedantic difference, one is legal and the other is not. For instance, in between deliveries, at least one player on the fielding side will be tasked with shining one side of the ball by rubbing it on their trousers. They do this because if the two halves of the cricket ball are in different conditions, then they'll have different aerodynamic properties. Allowing one half to degrade naturally and shining the other means that they will face different levels of resistance whilst travelling through the air. Laminar flow on one side, turbulent flow on the other. When that happens, the ball will change direction after it leaves the bowler's hand, and in cricket, that's known as swing. Now, shining the ball is not the only way to create swing, but it helps, and crucially, it's legal. In Test cricket, the players wear white, meaning that whoever's responsibility it is to shine the ball can often be easily identified by the red marks on their trousers. But whilst shining the ball is legal, the use of artificial substances to do so is not. And that used to be a harder area of the game to supervise. Before 2020, players were allowed to apply saliva to the ball, hoping to create extra shine. Some players would also subtly suck sweets, believing that sugar helped to accentuate the effects. It wasn't allowed, but it was difficult for umpires to detect. South African captain Faf du Plessis was fined after being caught sucking a sweet before shining the ball in 2016. Former England player Marcus Trescothick admitted that he sucked mints in the field during his career for the purpose of helping him shine the ball. So they were allowed to use saliva, but not if they were sucking sweets at the same time, even though there was no conclusive evidence that the extra sugar in the saliva had any effect at all. In any case, adding saliva was prohibited during the coronavirus pandemic, initially as a health measure and then permanently outlawed in 2022. But aside from that, there is still plenty of mischief. Cricket is often played in extreme heat and in conditions in which players naturally wear suntan lotion, another substance which can be illegally applied to the ball, as can Vaseline, lip balm and hair gel. There are 2 umpires on the field at any one time, and despite a network of television cameras supervising most games, policing the match fully is practically impossible. However, the most notorious instances of ball tampering typically affect the other side of the ball, the non-shiny side. Cricket's laws prohibit players from intentionally scuffing the ball by throwing it into the ground or against a hard surface, nor are they allowed to pick at the surface of the ball with their fingernails or any foreign objects. Basically, players are not allowed to forcefully degrade the ball in any way. In his autobiography, the former New Zealand international, Chris Pringle, said that his team used pieces of a metal bottle top to make lots of grooves and lines and deep gouges on the rough side of the ball, against Pakistan in 1990. In 2010, Pakistan's Shahid Afridi was actually caught biting the ball during a game against Australia. "I was trying to smell it," he claimed afterwards, before later pleading guilty and being banned for 2 games. In 1994, England captain Michael Atherton was caught applying dirt from his pocket onto the ball during a match at Lord's, and a few players have been caught scuffing the ball against the zip of their trousers. Most famously, in 2018, in probably the most notorious incidents of ball tampering cricket has known, Australian players Cameron Bancroft, David Warner, and team captain Steve Smith were implicated in a scandal during a match in South Africa. Television cameras caught Bancroft applying a yellow strip of sandpaper to the ball. They also caught him then trying to hide the sandpaper down his trousers, and it would later be revealed that he'd actually acted under instruction from senior players. Bancroft was banned for 9 months, Smith and Warner for a year. And writing in 2018, the author and journalist Jeff Lemon wrote that ball tampering happens all the time. Everyone in cricket knows this. Writing about the Australia episode in The Guardian and capturing the selective responses to periodic sagas, Simon Jenkins wrote that what seems to have hurt most in the latest ball tampering scandal is not the tampering, but the idiocy. And in the years since, the ICC, the sport's governing body, has increased the punishments for ball tampering. Technology has also brought far more scrutiny on teams' on-field conduct, but nothing will ever truly eliminate cricket's dark arts.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to the best team of sports writers, reporters, and analysts in the world, offering exclusive stories and unrivaled insight. You could try The Athletic for free for 30 days by clicking the link in the description.